Now we can discuss about the biasing of the MOSFET. Previously we have discussed how biasing can be done for the transistor and transistor small signal model. What are the three topics we have discussed in transistor? Same three topics we are discussing in the MOSFET also. So first we will discuss about biasing MOSFET. For this you require some previous understand, that is nothing but prerequisite, like what is the operation of the MOSFET, how MOSFET is working, what is MOSFET operating point, and what are the types of MOSFET, what is a particular current equation for MOSFET, and also you have to know about the transconductance of the MOSFET. And these are you are studied in your previous third semester ED subject. Just check it out that, and before doing this stuff you required all those parts. If you want about that basic portion, write in the comment box, then I will do video of that also. So in this biasing MOSFET, how we are done in the transistor biasing, similar way we are doing. So biasing of MOSFET also there is a 4 type, how we have in the transistor. Transistor, usually we know that the basic stuff we have the one portion it is collector and this is base and we have emitter. But if you taking as a MOSFET, we know that instead of collector it is drain and here it is source and we have gate. So base is called gate and collector is drain, emitter is similar to source. So in this again we have biasing MOSFET can be achieved from the 4 different patterns. One is we can make as a gate biasing, and then we can make as a source biasing also. And how we are done in transistor, similar way we can do voltage divider biasing also. So and the last one we can do with the again the feedback biasing. Here we are already discussed about the transistor biasing technique. Same technique we are doing in this portion also, that is voltage divider and feedback technique we are using in the same in the MOSFET also. So what happens to the voltage divider bias, what happens to the feedback? Voltage divider bias MOSFET also we can known as a, we can write like this, biasing by fixing VG. So here the VG is nothing but a gate voltage and we can use that gate voltage to fix and we can make biasing. In the MOSFET condition, the biasing actually dependent on the 2 things. One is VGS and another one is ID. In transistor, we remember that the biasing stuff is nothing but it is nothing but IC and VCE. Yes or no? So IC current and VCE voltage we can make as a Q point from this. But in the case of MOSFET, we can doing as a VGS and ID as a our Q point. From this we can fix it as a biasing. So we are using biasing by fixing VG, so we can make as a proper Q point and make as a MOSFET as a amplifier. For that we are using the similar technique what we are used in a voltage divider bias technique in the transistor. So if you take that circuit, it look like a, first you have to write as a MOSFET. So then we have some resistance in the RD, and then we have the voltage divider bias in the input side, and we have source resistance, and we are taking this one to the connect like this. This is the exact same equation what you have studied in the transistor voltage divider bias. So we can name it here. This one we are calling VDD, this one we are calling as a RD because this is the drain portion, this is we are calling RS, and this is we are calling R1 or RG1, and this is R2. Okay, so here what are the basic stuff you have to remember rather than the changes in the transistor. Remember the first point. Here we are using the current, like the formula is different from the previous. We are doing as a something like as a current is IC and beta and IB relation. We are not using that technique. Okay, and one more here, the previous what we have IC, IB and IE current. Here we have ID and IG and IS current. So that we'll discuss more on that. Before going to that, we'll make that where whatever the things exit. First we can discuss about the some resistance over here. already we know that if you are giving some AC signal, so we have some coupling capacitor. So we can call that coupling capacitor as a C1 and C2. So the things we have is, one is RD we have, then we have is RS we have, and then we have R1 and R2, and we have C1 and C2. These are the component what we have. So RD is nothing but here output resistance, or nothing but drain resistance we can call, and RS is nothing but we can call as a source resistance, okay, or is also called as a source biasing or stability resistance. So we can call it as a source biasing resistance, okay. And R1 and R2 we know that it is nothing but voltage divider biasing or input resistance, okay. And C1 and C2 we know that these are the nothing but coupling capacitor. So these are the particular devices, or we are using some component for the voltage divider bias. Now we can discuss about what are the current flowing on that, okay. So the first current, always remember, here we are going with this direction because VDD means positive given this. So this current we can call as ID, and we know that there is a RS is going on. So here whatever current is IS, okay. And one more, the current is going on here, we called as a IG current, okay. So we have three current, ID, IS and IG, and whatever the current here we can call this one as I2 because the R2 we are written, so we can call it I2, and whatever current is going on here we can call I1. I1 is nothing but I2 plus IG, so we can call it as a I2 plus IG, okay. So these are the current whichever is going on in the particular MOSFET. ID we are calling as a drain current, and then here the ID current can be mentioned as it is dependent on the some VGS and VTH. So we usually use the formula for here, ID is equal to K into VGS minus VTH whole square. So where the K is nothing but a constant term, you can call this one as a 1 divided by 2 Kn. N means it is N channel, so Kn into WL. So WL is nothing but it is a width and length of the devices. So it is usually dependent on width and length. So it is W by L. So usually width is directly proportional, length is indirectly proportional. If length is more, the current is actually decreasing. If width is more, current is increasing. So that is the relation. So this is the part of K. Similar way, VGS is nothing but it is an input resistance, or we can call it as a gate to source voltage, okay. And we have VTH. VTH is nothing but we are calling as a threshold voltage. So what is this threshold voltage means? It is the voltage where the particular this voltage make your MOSFET as a turn on. Before VTH or less than VTH, your MOSFET is not turned on, and after the VTH, MOSFET is turned on. So simply we can call it as the threshold voltage which make MOSFET as a turn on voltage. So that is called as a VTH. So we can make that these are the three part which affected to the your ID. So this is the drain current main here. One more very important here, the IG current we usually taking here as a 0. Why IG current is 0? IG current is nothing but it is a gate current. So if you know the theory portion, there we discussed about what is actually going on for the MOSFET when it is turned on, when it is turned off. So those reasons here we are taking that IG current is always 0. So gate current is 0 means there is a 3 current, mainly we have ID, IG and IS. So IS is nothing but actually ID, IG plus we have to get, and IG theoretically we are saying that 0 current. So obviously ID is equal to IS. So IS is nothing but we are calling as a source current. So in this case MOSFET we have only one current, that is called ID. There is no other current like IG is 0 and ID become IS. So only one current is flowing up. If it is IG 0, so obviously the I1 and I2 have a very small part. So usually we are calling previous relation we know that I2 is equal to 10 times IB, like that we discussed. So when Ig becomes 0, these all are negligible current which are there in the I1 and I2. So we can ignore that I1 and I2, you can, okay. But when you are taking at the, so I1 and I2, we can ignore it. It is nothing but we can call it as a biasing current or input current, and these are very small, or it's nothing but 0. So usually when you go for the theory, we are considering here as 0, but sometimes we require the resistance value or something like that. So that reasons we can consider the Ig value is a very smallest, and that can be find out for the resistance. Usually resistance are very high because current is 0 means resistor become infinity. So that reason resistance are very high we can consider. So when you go for the theoretical part, we can consider very small current going on. So we can make assume that there is a 0.1 microamps. This is just assumption, very small current going for whenever required the resistance calculation. But usually we can take resistance is a infinite and Ig is a 0 is according to the theory portion. Next we are going with the some voltages which are present in the particular this circuit. First we have VDD, it's nothing but supply voltage or power supply, and then here we are taking as a source as a common terminal, source is ground. So gate with the source and drain with the source we can take. That is nothing but one voltage is VDS, another voltage is VGS. So we can take VDS is nothing but drain to source junction voltage, okay, voltage between drain and source D and S, and VGS is nothing but a input voltage. VDS usually we can call as output voltage, okay, and VGS is input voltage, and this is nothing but the voltage between gate and source. When we consider this circuit, we can draw the graph something like that. The Q point between the ID and another term we called as a VGS. So we can take ID versus VGS. So this one point we are making ID maximum when VGS is 0. Similar way, when ID is 0, we are making one more portion VGS maximum. And in this point we can write one line. So this is known as DC load line. So now at what particular VGS it is turning on? Different VGS it is varies. So each device 1 or device 2, how it varies. So we can take like that. So if you take one particular portion, this is we can call as a VGS is 1. So in this portion it is going on this middle point, and it is device 1 we can call this one, or this particular we can call as a ID1. Similar way we can take another VGS somewhere here, and what is going on for this, so up to here, and after this point it is going on where it exactly intersect with the your DC load line, that we are calling another one ID, ID1 or ID2. So observe this one. When VGS is small, usually ID is more, and VGS is more, here ID is decreasing. So from this point we can say that particular devices, depending upon this VGS1 ID1, we can form the one Q point, okay. So that Q point we can say that our MOSFET is activated or not. So from this Q point we can make such a sure that what is ID and what is VGS we have to keep to make our MOSFET as a particular inactive region. So we can move on our circuit design. So step 1 we can design our circuit, how we are designing a transistor similar way. So if you consider input circuit, we have something called as step 1. We will consider input circuit. So it look like the MOSFET is up to this point, and here we can consider R1 and R2, and then we have VDD here, and then we have ground in this position. So this point is nothing but a VG point, okay. And anyway we are only following input portion, so we can take that one, and this is whatever point we are calling as a VG. So now this point we have to consider as a equivalent circuit for this one, and we can do similar way Thevenin circuit or voltage divider rule, and we can make it. If you take equivalent circuit, it look like the VDD comes here positive and grounded to this point, and we have one resistance called R1, then one more resistance called R2, and it is connected to ground. So we are taking VG to this point. or we can call this voltage is nothing but, when you are doing equivalent circuit, we can calculate what is R1 R2 equivalent resistance and what is the equivalent voltage. So VG, we can easily take that VG is equal to, we are taking with respect to R2 resistance, so R2 resistance divided by total resistance is R1 plus R2, and we are giving source is known as VDD, so it is multiplied with the VDD. This is how the VG can be calculated. Similar way, we have to calculate the total resistance R equivalent. So how to calculate R equivalent? From the Thevenin's theorem, we know that when you're calculating R equivalent, we make VDD is equal to 0, our input whatever is there 0, and we make all the voltage source shorted, and then we can consider, so R equivalent is nothing but, or we can call it as a R Thevenin, RTH, okay, is equal to, is nothing but R1 parallel to R2. So our formula is R1 into R2 divided by R1 plus R2. So from this category, we can finally say that we are getting something like that. So this is our VDD. We are giving input source like VTH. So whatever we got VG or VTH we can call. So this is, we can call VG. So from that whatever we are getting is nothing but RTH, or we can call RG also possible. And from this we are giving to the our MOSFET. So this is your drain and this is your source connected to here. This is the input circuit what we built from the previous configuration. After this step 1, we are getting equivalent circuit, something like that. So VG we are taking here, and RG or RTH you can name it, whatever you name, and RD and RS. This is already we have in the previous equation like that. Here RD and RS we have, so RD and RS, and this portion R1 R2 we are taken as a in form of RG or RTH, and VDD and this portion we are taken as a VG. So from this we can make that step 2, that KVL. When you do it KVL, you are getting something like that. So start from VG, it is VG minus, we can call it as a IGRG, and minus VGS, and we have minus ID and RS. Is nothing but, here whatever the current is there, already we know that it is ID and IS both are equal, so we can consider ID. So this is the formula for what we got for the step 2, that is nothing but KVL to the input circuit. We know that there is a IG is 0 or nothing, so we can ignore the IGRG portion. So we can say that VG minus VGS minus VGS is equal to 0 also possible. So VG minus VGS minus IDRS we can call as a VS, because it is nothing but IS into RS. So is equal to 0. We can call this formula also. This is we are calling as a equation 1. Similar way, we can go for the step 3. So step 3, our aim is to make KVL output circuit. So from the considering our circuit, so what are the portion we have in the output? So it look like these portions are in the output circuit. So we can consider with one by one. So first we have VDD. So from that we are getting VDD minus the current is whatever going on here is ID. So the ID into RD, and minus we have this portion is something known as VDS, because drain to source. So that is VDS minus IS and RS is there. IS I am taking as a ID. So ID into RD is equal to 0. So from this KVL formula, we can take out what is the particular the term ID means. ID means what we can consider, because we know that our aim is from the this configuration, what is VGS and what is ID is our aim is to find the Q point. So VGS we can find out from the equation first. VGS we can make it here, and ID we can make it from this. So your ID become, ID is equal to, so here, sorry, this become RS. Okay. So ID become these RDRS one side, and this one VDD minus VDS divided by, so we have the two resistance RD and RS. So we can call as a RD plus RS we can take. So RD plus RS. So this is the one formula for ID. We can also write for the one more formula for VDS. VDS is nothing but we can taking from this portion. So VDD we have VDD minus we can take ID outside because ID is common, and minus ID means we can take RD plus RS one side. So this is the formula for VDS we can take. So we can take for ID also this formula and VDS also. So we can make these or the formula from the our relation of the voltage divider bias or fixing VG.